Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we're bringing you the lower bracket battle between ReZurrection and GEEK BF4. So let's just wait and see. And now we're going to be playing on Golmud, which is a very interesting map that you and I have seen so many times, Dogbert.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, we've got to wait for GEEK to get one of our last guys back into the server as he has crashed. I'm just checking out the ID, which I never even noticed for God knows how long.
Really?
In this game. Yeah, I only noticed it very recently.
This is the ID that apparently spawns. There is a team that spawns essentially here, and literally 10 feet in front of them is this collection of high explosives. Now, I have been informed by Infused that Tom has set this off on more than one occasion and killed the entire team. So it has potential for comedy value.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you can set it off on this map. Where is it? It's quite far away, isn't it? Let's...
Yeah, you just have to follow the cable.
I see it, yeah. And, it's armed and ready to go, apparently. And it is a Chinese bomb, apparently.
Oh, really?
But, actually, if you go over to where the ID is, in the game, the EMS finals, where Dignitas played Planet Key Dynamics, very interesting start occurred, and possibly one of the greatest shots in Battlefield 4 history. On the other side of the building on the left, if you're at that spawn, they blew out one of the walls, and then on the second shot, a rocket went through the window from the broken building and hit two of the Dignitas guys in the spawn, like straight away.
Wow.
Like the most insane RPG shot I've ever seen in my life. And it took me ages to work out how the hell two of the Dig guys had died right at the beginning, and that was just insane to see that happen.
Fantastic. So it looks like we are just going to do another quick reload, and we should be underway just as soon as I've actually changed all the team names around. They're probably going to change it back, and yeah, of course, that's exactly what they've done. Made me out to be a liar, damn it. Always happens.
There's not much you can do about it. It's something that just happens in BF. They love to switch sides so quick.
Indeed they do. So let's just sort that out. Make sure that everybody is in the right place and ready to go. So there we go.
So Golmud Railway, interesting map. We've seen some variation on some interesting tactics on this map. Very much a free cam map whenever you're in spectator, I feel. And that mid house is going to be critical. It'll be interesting to see if we're going to see much RPG action. You do see a lot of teams trying to take out that building early, but from what I can see, no one's got one at all. Everyone's playing standard up assault here, so this is going to be interesting. That break from Rez is a very interesting one. They're going to go straight for that C flag. Very unorthodox tactics here, and I don't know if it's going to pay off. The GEEK seem to be aware of it already, and they're already rotating to defend it. That's two down already, so an unorthodox start is not paying off at all, as the two attackers are already dead. But they do have some building control here, and there goes at least one kill for Rez. But right now, wow, GEEK off to a good start here, nice bleed. But look at the players swarming that C flag already, and Psychopath taking one down. But they're just keeping in those buildings right now, Rez.
Yeah, now obviously you can see over at the A point, the members of Rez in the process of trying to defend that point. And it looks like now a push coming into C by the members of Rez. But nades coming over the top of the walls, coming in from GEEK, and massive amounts of fire. But it looks like that was Execute got taken out very quickly indeed. Going to get brought back up by the Revive, and Kinetic trying to defend. But it looks like a complete wipe there by three members of ReZurrection, and as a result of that, it means that the C point is going to remain under the control of GEEK.
Yeah, and even though they do have a bit of building control here from Rez, they need to start actually pushing onto the sea. It's wide open for them. They're going to go for it now. You see Luigi there trying to hold that A flag by himself. Is just J, really. But that's quick rotation from Rez, going for B immediately, knowing that A is probably going to go. And this might be the best move they have made in this game so far. They're going to come away with a ticket bleed and the two most important flags.
Yeah, and you can see the fire coming in as it looks like members of GEEK are moving in towards that point. Round and round the containers they go, and Luigi unfortunately getting shot in the face, but it looks like execute being finished off as they move in towards the school building. And you can see the members of ReZurrection here trading fire out of the school building in towards that defensive point as Dally gets taken down, but gets revived almost immediately as another member of GEEK, and that's Psychopath, manages to catch a few bullets with his face, and that's pretty much all over as far as they're concerned. So it looks like the school building is being held and the B point is being contested. And the A point, look at this, and the C point finally moving over to the ownership of GEEK. And you can see them trying to defend that building, but that building's been taken apart by the RPGs and the grenades, Dogbert.
Yeah, and that's just something we're used to seeing on this map. It's just one of those places that just gets... I mean, we've seen a bit more destruction on this map. We've seen some insane destruction sometimes with that middle house going out and some of the smaller house as well, and all the walls around B. So there's plenty more destruction possibly on the way. But right now, you know, Rez finding himself back at that A flag. They did break out, and this game is a lot closer than their previous outings. But man, GEEK are in the position they want right now with that C and B. But the kills are starting to become a lot more even this game, and you know, this is what they need. They just need to get a bit more presence on that skill on the kill board, and they're getting them now, and that might translate into flags very soon.
Yeah, we're watching as it looks like Frantic moving up towards the school building, just going past Stevie, and you can see them starting to move in as this point is being defended and pushed pretty hard. There we go, looks like the B point now in the ownership of the members of GEEK, and now they're going to start pushing towards the A and pushing towards the C at the same time. As you can see here, the school building has been already damaged pretty seriously by the RPG combos that are coming out, and the C point being pushed pretty hard here by the members of GEEK. And you can see obviously Rez moving in as quickly as they possibly can to try and defend it, but Luigi being finished off very quickly. Psychopath taking a very slightly defensive role here, trying to essentially ensure that the flag stays in their ownership, as bullets flying all over the place as Retard gets finished off as well at that point. So it's looking like a full domination cap here, Dogbert.
Yeah, definitely not what they need right now, and Frantic getting a two-man kill of Luigi and Stevie as they moved out towards A. And this is just nasty now. The game was looking quite even at one point. Now GEEK is starting to run away with it. They're starting to shut down the special... That's a massive spawn on A, though. Look at that. Free man on top of that A flag, and Frantic by himself, probably unaware of just how many are actually on this flag here. He's going to try and be the man to stop the rot. He does get one. That is going to be Kinetic going down. And from Rez's point of view, they kind of scattered out of that A flag as quick as possible and kind of left it. And now they run the risk of a full domination cap here.
That is exactly what's happening, and you can see him trying to take out the building as well. So Luigi being finished off. So Frantic out with the RPG, going in for the kill as another member of ReZurrection comes in, but then finally Frantic gets taken down at that A point, and now hopefully they can actually start getting the ownership of that flag back towards their team. But you have the likes of Retard here from ReZurrection. He is in the process of trying to defend that point, but unfortunately he wasn't in hard cover and got taken down as he tried to defend. So we're looking at the A point still currently owned by ReZurrection, 105 tickets to 156. So it's still looking pretty close. I mean, it's only 50 tickets between both of these teams, but like you said, GEEK seem to have the advantage right now when it comes to this particular map.
Definitely. They're just controlling the pace a lot better. And what can you say, really? They're just not able to break through. And GEEK are just holding on to the buildings, especially the one in the middle here. As I say, that Frantic goes down, but I expect people to die whenever I put my camera on them. And it's just going to end up being like this. If Rez could not, like, they need this A-B more than anything. C is nice, but they need this A-B flag hold, and they need it soon. They're going on it right now. It's just Daly by himself as a defender. He's a 2-on-1 situation here. Gets the first kill. He knows that there's going to be someone on that flag capping, but reinforcements are coming from C, and this is done. Look, he gets 2 kills. He gets the 1 on Kinetic, stops the capture, and gives enough time for the rest of the team to turn up onto B.
Now then pushing in towards the B point. You can see them checking the corners, checking those all-important points. Unfortunately, they didn't check behind that container as Cougar comes around the corner, and you can see, looks like Cougar gets killed, and Kinetic also catching a nade as well. So it looks like a good attempt there by the members of Geek, managing to shut down any attempt to recapture that point by Rez, as they would obviously come over the top of the school building and onto these container crates and so on and so forth. So it's looking pretty secure as far as Geek are concerned against Rez. Rez obviously doing their best, fighting back as best they can, and Geek obviously we've seen in action on more than one occasion of it.
Yeah, and they're just holding C and B on a quite regular basis here, and there's not much really Rez have been able to do about it. I mean, they are sending like the odd 1 or 2 man pushes out there, but they're not getting that much headway, and that must be really, really worrying right now for Rez. Because every time they get a flag, they lose at least one, and it costs them odds to even get the flag captured. So, with that being said, they are pushing onto that B flag right now, but you can just see Geek's response is to capture an undefended A, and to fight for that B flag. I mean, this is just a dominant display right now from Geek.
Yeah, we're watching Geek as they're pushing J Retard being finished off as he got caught out in the open, and we're watching Dally as he's looking towards the school building for a push in through there by the members of ReZurrection. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens as we're following Dally as he's looking around. Let's see if we can actually move out from here and find out what's going on over by the C point, as that seems to be where most of the action is actually occurring, as we can now fly down through past the school here to another member of Team ReZurrection moving in, and that looks to be Cougar taking a little bit of fire, finishes off Seki, but you've got to watch out because there's another guy coming in, Psychopath moving in behind him, going to run into him, there we go, takes him down. There's literally no cover on that C point right now, Dogbert, and it's a really, really nasty point for them to try and capture.
Yeah, they need to do something really, really quick here. That ticket lead is a big one, and they don't want to have to deal with that going into the next round. But once again, B and C is going over the Geek. And Rez are just constantly on the back foot here. There's nothing they can really do. Like, you got Daly pushing up on A, so A has to be defended. They have Geek has at least 2 defenders on C, so they need at least overwhelming force to get through there. And look, as soon as they get the picks, they just move on to A, and man, Geek are just looking so good right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case at the moment. You can see here, it looks like a push here by Rez in towards the C point, but they're being shut down by, oh, lovely, nades going in onto Seki, and unfortunately, poor old Stevie being gunned in the back by the evil Psychopath, and he managed to do his thing, but he's essentially defending that building and doing a good job of running between that and the A point. So let's see if we can find out, as Tree's dying horribly, and there's Cougar. Let's follow him as he's making his way towards the B point, checking the school buildings, following up with his teammates, Stevie, who's pushing in as well. So he's pushing in on one of the flanks to try and support his teammate. His teammate has unfortunately snuffed it, and there we go, gets a nice double kill onto Execute and Psychopath. Now we can start pushing in towards that B point and see if they can actually get the bleed away, but no, a spawn behind him takes him down, and you can see here that still another member of Rez is going to run into another member of the Geek squad, and it looks like it's J Retard, and now you can see here pushing from the C point, but it's only 5 tickets left with 128 tickets in favour of Geek BF4. They are looking pretty in control, and there goes the rockets into the building, and look at that mass gunfight. Well, I should say mass gunfight, it's nearly like 4 people, and it looks like they actually got the better of Geek there. So that's a very important moment, and you can see now that the bleed is against those members of Geek BF4, and they are going to be trying to defend that C point as best they can. Maybe pushing over towards the A point, Dogbert.
Yeah, but like actually getting a good wipe and eventually getting the bleed like that is all good. But if you can't do it early, then you're going to suffer. With only 2 tickets to 113 right now for Geek, it's going to be very, very difficult for them the next round to come out the victors here. And man, Geek just looking on top right now. They're just, I don't know. They're getting the flags they want. They're rotating perfectly, and they're getting the kills. And a better showing this time for Rez, but still just not able to compete really with Geek.
Unfortunately, yes. And as you can see at the top of the scores for Geek, Dally with 24 and 12. Nice score there. And like you're saying, Rez struggling really against the likes of Geek. They were all over them, pretty much. So it was a very unfortunate situation for them, and pretty much every time they went round the corner, they literally ran into multiple members of GEEK. Now, do you think it was them losing the 1v1s when it was getting into points on the flag, or do you think it's more than that, Dogbert?
It's more than that, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that Geeks are able to get like 2-on-1s quite a lot of the time. I've seen one push getting shut down by Frantic by himself, like 2-on-1, just murdered them before they even knew what was going on. And really, just uncoordinated pushes from Rez, and even when they did get into the flags they wanted, they just didn't get them captured quick enough. But one man from Geek was able to just keep them busy long enough for the rotations to come in and the cleanups to occur. And with that being said, you know, this is going to be a better spawn, for Rez. They will get the C and B straight off the bat, but that initial break that they had, sending 4 people towards C, just didn't pay off. I mean, what you got to do when you go for that kind of blitzkrieg tactic is move as quick as possible and try and overwhelm them before you know what's going on. But they took too long, and by that time, Geek were already aware of what was going on, and they rotated accordingly to stop it.
So 16 seconds and we're underway with round number 2. So, let's see. One of these guys is going to run over. Oh, God. That's really bad. Seki is literally standing on top of the EOD. That's a real... Or IED, not EOD. Duh.
EOD, IOD, EID.
Yeah. I before E except after C. Yeah, my apologies there as I essentially fall over the mouthful. And you can see now it looks like members here of GEEK actually taking it very, very bravely as they're running down the main street, and 2 of them are getting taken down almost immediately. And now, as a result of that, it means that the C point and the B point is going to be held here by members of Rez. So, let's see what's going on. As we now follow, it looks like Cougar in towards the A point. Let's follow him as he makes his way in. So you can see him moving in, and this could be a possibility, maybe of a domination cap. We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like Cougar is checking the corners, trying to stay in at least a relatively good position. At least not sort of move around too much, but at least stay out of the way of any gunfire that might be coming in his direction. So you can see now that they're going to move in towards that building, and we're going to move over towards the school building. As you can see, it's in the process of being taken by GEEK right now. There we go. GEEK now holding the B and the C point, and the RPGs are coming out and taking down those defensive buildings overlooking the school building, which is essentially what they're going to be looking at. As you can see, a nice trade going out here between members of GEEK and Rez, and we shall see what's going on as it looks like a push coming in here from what looks to be J Retail from Rez. Oh, that could be a nasty spawn coming in for Kinetic. Kinetic turns, takes down 1. Unfortunately, he was unable to finish the job, so it looks like here the members of Rez actually managed to get the better of GEEK, Psychopath and Seki as they moved in towards that point. And now you're looking at a B point, and there we go. There goes the RPGs into the wall, which means that Rez are going to have a lot of problems trying to defend that B point from the fire that's going to be coming in from GEEK BF4, Dogbert.
Yeah, definitely something different. And Rez finally getting a bit of a bleed here, though. It's starting to resort to like big man pushes here. Frantic is the only man forward really to try and stop this one, but he gets shut down eventually. But you can see how GEEK are responding to this, and that is to just spread out and capture as many flags as possible. And yeah, even though they got this flag capture at C, they didn't rotate quick enough, and now they find the bleed against them once again. But the game is a lot closer than it was previously. But we've seen this happen for a while, and then we've just seen one team pull ahead. So from GEEK's point of view, they must be feeling pretty happy right now.
Yeah, I suppose they would be feeling pretty confident. I mean, you know, certainly this particular match is a lot closer than the other match, the other half has been. Oh, that's a nasty nade coming in the direction of Psychopath, doing a huge amount of damage to him, takes him down below half health, but he's going to be sniffing around looking for an opportunity to catch a bullet with his face, which is exactly what happened, as now the school building is in the process of being captured by Rez. So we're in with Cougar as he's working together with his teammates, trying to take that point back, taking fire from the C point very quickly as members of GEEK BF4 move in towards the B point. And you can see them trading fire there with the Ace 52 close quarter battle. That lovely gun that everyone is enjoying. as I am currently
like
struggling. I'm sorry, mate. No, it's not that. I don't know why. I do apologise. Sorry, that's very unprofessional of me. But yeah, it's I just couldn't stifle it there for a second. But yeah, basically, so you know, the Ace 52 definitely lower cyclic rate than the Ace 23, but higher damage model at closer range. So you know, interesting to see this being used, and it seems to be a very popular gun under the circumstances.
Yeah, and I think GEEK definitely, right now, feeling pretty confident. They're just kind of coming forward. I mean, this is the first time that really they haven't got the flag they wanted. The A-B is over for Rez right now, but Kinetic's the only guy left forward here. He needs to get these 2 kills, and he does, and this is finally looking good for Rez. I mean, they have all the flags they need. They don't have anyone on A, though. That's going to be their biggest concern, I feel. And right now, they're going to have to think of something to do here. But there you go. Spawns for them out near C. And for the first time in this matchup between the two teams, Rez are going to take the lead. And they're going to look at least like they're in a good position now. But see, bring up a tabletop and you see there are too many people out near C and not enough near B. And that's where the hammer has fallen. And it's only 2 on 5 at that flag.
Yeah, and as Rez Kinetic gets finished off as he's making his way up the stairwell, more fire coming in, and nade goodness going in from J Retard. As you can see him trading a little bit of fire into Psychopath BE, so he's been taken down as well, and finished off with the accurate Ace 23 fire, and a little bit of fire coming in also from J Retard onto that final man, hiding away in the school building. And now you can see them in a position to maybe get a full domination cap here against GEEK, and that will be a very, very important moment as far as the members of Rez are concerned, Dogbert.
Yeah, they need to do something quickly to get out of this one, because they are getting really just... I don't know. I mean, for GEEK, they've been looking so dominant for so long, and then all of a sudden Rez just turn it up. But I think it might be too little too late. They need to have a perfect game of Battlefield right now. And I would say 113 tickets was the previous round. So they haven't got much to work with right now. So they need to play a very, very perfect game. But this is not the kind of team we were looking at earlier. They have definitely been causing a lot more issues to GEEK than they did previously. And if they had done this in the previous round, then, well, we'd be looking at a lot closer game, Chad.
Yeah, definitely that would be the case. And it is 140 tickets to 115 in favour of Team ReZurrection. And you can see that it looks like GEEK are only holding the C flag with an A and a B hold here by the members of ReZurrection. So we're just watching as Dally is moving in here. So we're watching through his eyes as he's moving up into the B point. He's going to be pushing forward along with his teammate as Grenades essentially announcing his appearance. And you can see more fire coming in as, wow, look at these guys. These guys are really running and gunning right now. And it looks like Dally's going to get resurrected by Psychopath, and they're going to try and defend this B point against any attempted pushes by Team ReZurrection. But it looks like more fire going into them, as you can see them, GEEK doing a pretty good job of actually putting a lot of pressure onto this B point now, Dog. But, sorry, the C point.
Yeah, but it might be too little too late. I mean, you can just see that GEEK are trying to overwhelm that C flag, and they're trying to do it as quick as possible, and they don't have much to work with here. 125 tickets, and so the cutoff point is going to be 113, so they cannot really allow GEEK to get a single ticket bleed here, and you can see Daly is just going to capture the C flag, and there are 2 guys from Rez nearby, but none of them are trying to stop this capture.
Yeah, now it's surprising that they're not trying to take the wall down as well. I would have thought that would actually give them an advantage, but it looks like a member of Rez moved in. There we go. Looks like Rez Kinetic moved in but got shut down and killed very quickly indeed. Killed to death, in fact. So now you can see Dally moving out. He's down pretty low on the health at the moment, 67 health. He's definitely going to survive for long enough to cause a severe problem for the members of the enemy team. And you can see him moving in. There we go, runs into Cougar. Cougar finishes him off very quickly, and now you can see the ownership of that flag going to be changing any minute now, as lo and behold there's another member of GEEK moving in and holding that C point. So it looks like they're actually starting to make a little bit of inroad in towards that point. There's nobody really pressuring the school point at the moment, and you can see multiple members of Rez in at the school building and starting to push down towards that school building, maybe see if they can put some suppressive fire in there. And it looks like we're also seeing more fire coming in from Frantic UK. He's going to then start pushing back towards the school building, Dogbert.
Yeah, but it's too little too late as they have gone over the magic number, and it will be Geek going into the final against Infused for another rematch. It's going to be a difficult one for them, I feel, but they have definitely shown themselves. And in Rez, actually, I'm quite surprised. They've done a lot better in this map than they did in the previous one against Geek, and shown improvement already in just one night of work.
Absolutely, yeah, which is, I would say, it's a good sign for the future. So good to see these guys doing as much fire damage as they can. As poor old Dally there getting gunned down by two members of ReZurrection. More fire coming in here as Stevie takes down Psychopath in the middle of the road, and now they can start pushing in towards it. Oh, Stevie gets finished off. Oh, that was so unlucky there. Literally comes in on execute, gets another person spawned right next to her, and Stevie gets shot in the face very quickly indeed. So you can see here as more battles are continuing along the main street, and like you said, it's pretty much all over as far as ReZurrection are concerned, but they're continuing to battle it out.
Yeah, everyone likes to get a little bit of practice in here. They might as well keep playing until the end. A lot of teams do enjoy to do that. It is the Battlefield way. It's just, you can just see that Geek are just been playing as a better team here, and they'll have a difficult one up ahead of them. They got to play Infused, obviously, and I think Rez here just want to kind of win this round, even though they've lost the map already, just to try and win the round no matter what. So maybe we'll see a bit more practice and a bit more of a hunger to win coming out of them in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good thing to see, but obviously my concern is the fact that they have the bleed against them and they only have a single flag in their ownership. So this will be a very unfortunate situation, and let's just see what's going on. So there we go, nice fire coming into Psychopath, but unfortunately Daddy following up behind him, bringing up his teammate, and now pushing in towards the A point, as it looks like Jay is over there as well, doing a little bit of extra damage onto that building. And it looks like the A point, but the bleed is going to go against these guys. So I don't know what's going on, but I think the ReZurrection guys need to step it up a little bit more and try and take this B building back and the schoolhouse, so that they can actually then start doing some damage and maybe win this round.
Yeah, they need to do something. Yeah, it will be Geek versus Infused in the final. Not particularly surprised in a way. I kind of would have predicted that kind of final to possibly happen, unless Rez were going to come in and kind of put on a display unlike anything we've ever seen. I mean, they were a bit of an unknown team coming into this, so they had the element of surprise possibly, but Geek showing themselves to be a bit more too experienced for the new team. But Infused, different kettle of fish. They are just beasts at the moment, and maybe Geek getting an extra bit of warm up here and maybe a bit more confidence. Maybe they can do it, but it's going to be an uphill battle for them, as Infused is looking so damn dominant right now.
That is definitely the case, and Frantic UK in with the Engineer and the RPG-72, so he's going to try and do a little bit of feng shui, no doubt, a little bit of reorganisation and building suppression, as you don't want those buildings shooting back at you. So you can see him doing a little bit of moving of concrete and rubble and things of that nature. So he's out there and is moving in to try and take away all of the defensive areas of the A point, but you can see now the C point has already started to move over ownership, and there we go, out comes the Ace-52, takes down Luigi, another kill into Kinetic as well, and now you can see them moving back and taking this C point back very quickly, Dogbert. So like you're saying, pretty dominant display here by Geek, and putting them in good stead, hopefully, like you said, for a closer battle against Infused in the next matches.
Yeah, indeed, and it's going to be a difficult one for them, like I keep saying. But yeah, maybe they can take a bit of momentum away from this game. They are about to win it with about 60 or so tickets. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be very difficult to deal with a team like Infused. They've been playing together with quite a solid lineup for quite a while, and they are one of the best teams in Europe right now.
Definitely, definitely. So let's just wait and see as the final 3 tickets are disappearing. So obviously our thanks to Rez for Team ReZurrection for turning up, as rubble flying around all over the place. And like you're saying, you know, in this second half, Team ReZurrection doing a great job there. Unfortunately, unable to take it across the line.
Well, good showing in for themselves for a new team. So Hopefully they won't be too heartbroken over their loss. And it's going to be GEEK now going to have to come up against a far more experienced and possibly more dominant team right now in Infused.
Indeed. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly cut to some music, and we shall be back with the final very shortly. So in the meantime, stay tuned and enjoy a little bit of nostalgia.